Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Huge reveals. This is, they're kind of setting it up like final Diabellstar lore stuff going on in Alliance Insight. I don't know if this is going to totally finalize the Diabellstar lore, just like in general, before we start a new lore. Although I guess it is important to note that next set is the set that they're setting up to be the Yu-Gi-Oh! The Card Game Chronicles anime like core set series, so maybe that is where they start to go away from this lore. So a lot of cards here. There's like 8 or 9 cards here. Let's just jump into it. Let's see how they go. I just read names and types of cards, not effects, but it looks like we're a little heavy on White Forest stuff. So hopefully White Forest gets one more push here, especially if you're a fan of that, and let's see how that goes. Starting off here, we start with a new field spell called Witches of the White Forest. That's great. It has White Forest in the name. It's a field spell. You can only activate one card of this card's name per turn, and the third effect is also once per turn. When this card resolves, you can add a White Forest monster from your deck to your hand. And if you do, you cannot special summon dark monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn. Okay. Thinking it's pretty good. Does like you have darks from the extra deck. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of like, are there any like crazy dark synchros and stuff that we're already taking advantage of? Not too much from what I can remember, but there certainly has to be some. Dark's the best attribute in the game, but this is just really good in general, because not only is this a searcher, which is just always good in general, just good for consistency, good for picking a starter or an extender depending on your situation, but it's also just really nice because it's a field spell. So this is just a face-up spell or trap, and all of the White Forest just send spell and traps to pay for their cost. So this card is paying for the first cost of one of the White Forests and searching it from deck. So just good plus card. Second effect, the first time each of your White Forest monsters would be destroyed battle. Each turn it is not. Just battle protection. Still decent, just icing on the cake with the first effect, like makes this card great anyway. And thirdly, you can target a White Forest monster you control. It is treated as a tuner this turn. Okay, that's actually really nice too. That can actually just give you some really nice flexibility with being able to make certain synchro lines. I've definitely seen the deck run into like awkward lines where you don't end up with a tuner, or where your opponent, like based on the type of interaction they have, that their goal can just be like, I'm just clearing his tuners every time they summon one. So this can potentially help you work around that. Cool. Seems like a really good card. Love that. Good consistency. Again, the potency of this card may depend on if this dark monster lock is super brutal or not, but I doubt it would be. All right, cool. So that's the first card there. Okay. All right. Just don't listen to me, YG organization. All right. Now let's get into the rest here. Okay. First off here, we have Diabellstar the Sin Adjudicator, Dark Fiend effect monster, level 8, 2500 attack, 2100 defense. Look at that artwork. This is Diabellstar in her final form. Look at that. Crazy. She's kind of going like full furry mode. All right. This card is always treated as a Sinful Spoils card. That's nice. There's a lot of ways to search Sinful Spoils card. This card would have been much less searchable without that clause. You can only use the first and second effects once per turn. You can banish one spell and one trap from your hand and or graveyard. Okay, does work for graveyard. That's nice. Special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. Ooh, so even on follow-up turns, like if you can just fill out the graveyard with a spell and trap, you can just get this back. Quick effect. Pay half your life point. You can pay half your life points. Then target one card your opponent controls. Destroy it. Then if another Diabell monster card is on the field, you can special summon one illusion or spellcaster tuner synchro monster from your extra deck. Whoa. Okay. This card's interesting. Listen, I think the downside of this card is that its setup cost is not totally free. It is not problematic to put a spell engrave, but putting a trap engrave, especially turn 1, is not always that free. Now, if you're talking about like White Forest, they're a little better at it because they could excuse me, because they can access their traps and then send them for cost for their White Forest effects. So that's not the hardest one in the world. So that's the one I think makes the most sense. Also, there's stuff like Diabellstar, original Diabellstar, who can just send. Your send can just be any trap you have access to. That interruption is pretty interesting, though. You're at least just popping a card your opponent controls quick effect. You do have to pay half your life points. And then if you do have a second Diabell monster, which could even be the Synchro from White Forest or something else, you also get to just pull any other illusion or spellcaster tuner Synchro out of the deck. That's pretty good. Excuse me. Whew. Alright. Early morning sniffles. Second card. Diabellze the White Witch. Light illusion monster, okay? More illusions. Effect monster. This is our other form here. Just much more White Foresty vibes here. Okay. Level 8, 25, 21. This card is always treated as a White Forest card. Oh, always treated as a White Forest card. Okay. Extra searchable there. You can only use the first and second effects once per turn. You can send one spell or trap from your hand or field to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand. Okay, so this does have like that White Forest kind of send effect. So paired with White Forest spells and traps, this works. This also is just straight up searchable and summonable off of the field spell. One card. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can send one SINFUL Spoils or Diabell card from your deck to the graveyard. Ooh. I don't know off the top of my head what the best, like, just straight up foolish targets would be. I mean, I guess this Diabell card you could send. This card by itself is off of just the field spell. You are getting a spell engrave, this card on field, and you're sending this. And because you already have a spell, if you just have any way to put a trap engrave, you're going to set up both of these, which is cool. And thirdly, monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects while you control 2 or more Diabell monsters. That's kind of just the bonus effect, nothing too crazy. This card is just a nice extender, though, and it's level 8, too, which could matter. All of White Forest is all 4s and 2s for the most part. So actually having like a searchable White Forest card that basically has like the same kind of summoning condition and a bonus dump effect, this card could actually see play in the deck as well. So I don't hate that. Alright, into some extra deck stuff. This card is just called Azamina, so that's crazy. Level 12 Fusion. This card requires Queen of Azamina, which I believe is the main deck monster from last set, from Supreme Darkness. I think she just says if she's used as like Synchro or Fusion material, she just summons herself back on him like immediately. Plus 1 Fusion or Synchro monster. Must first be Fusion summoned or special summoned from your extra deck by attributing 1 Saint Azamina you control and 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Whoa! Whoa! Okay. That's crazy. Alright. So... wow, that's really interesting. So, you have to make this card going second, or at least in the grind game, by fusing into Saint Azamina, or at least just, using the Azamina archetype to just plop Saint Azamina out, which is really strong, because Saint Azamina can just, when it's summoned, has the ability to just summon another Azamina fusion monster from extra deck, so that's... you're getting like really good value, and you just get to like inherently like almost contact fuse an opponent's monster if it's a fusion or a synchro, basically. Oh no, because it just bypasses the materials. So if you just put Saint Azamina on the field, this card is just like an inherent out to anything your opponent controls. This card could see play, legitimately. Okay. I know Saint Azamina takes a little bit extra cost to get out, but like one more SINFUL Spoils card worth of sending to get it out. But this is a pretty decent payoff, like extra payoff on top of what Saint Azamina does. All right, this card also can't be destroyed by card effects, so it's 4,000, 4,000 can't be destroyed by card effects. Each time your opponent activates a card or effect, all monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack when it resolves. Okay. And thirdly, your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters with 0 attack. Okay, I don't think that's like that big of a deal. Just the way that modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks play, you're like summoning a monster, activating its effect, and then that's really all you usually need. because like it's either doing something in grave or you're linking it off anyway. You're XYZing it off anyway. So then it's not that big of a deal. Okay, I mean it's almost trying to be like a Slifer the Sky Dragon kind of thing, but I'm just not sure it happens fast enough. Okay, I mean, but still a good card, right? You're still making a 4K non-indestructible, monster by being able to free send something your opponent controls. Okay, very interesting card. Very interesting card. All right, next up here is Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes Execute Dragon. This is Fire Dragon Synchro. Level 12, 3025 for the stats. Completely generic material, so any tuner or non-tuner to make a 12. That makes me think of like, what is their name? Centurion, right? Because they're just the king of plopping 12s on the field. First and second effects are hard once per turn each. First effect reads, during the main phase, target a face-up monster on the field or in the graveyard. Place it face-up in its owner's spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. Also, this card cannot use this effect next turn. Okay. Interesting. So it's kind of like a Mirror Jade type thing where you just can't use it 2 turns in a row. So once you use it, you can't use it next turn. You gotta wait. Now this one is a hard once per turn, which means it's not like, oh, I use it, I do something to make it leave the field and come back, and then I can use it again, or 2 copies or anything. But it's still a pretty good effect. I mean, we've seen this. This is kind of the Snake Eyes thing, right? So just targeting a monster and then just putting it in the spell and trap zone. That's pretty good because that can be decent graveyard interruption and field interruption. So that's decent. Second effect, during the battle phase, quick effect, you can target 2 cards on the field while monster and a continuous spell destroy them. That's pretty good. It's a pretty strong level 12 synchro, especially with how much easier they've shown to be, makeable these days. Pretty cool. All right. Yeah, I'm into it. This is not a bad card either. I don't know if Snake Eye really even makes 12s. I don't think so, but like it's there. That's cool. Level 4 Synchro. This is Mystic Mystery of the White Forest. Ooh, that's cool. Okay, so up above with the field spell that can like turn a White Forest monster into a tuner. This means even if you just have like 2 level 2s, you can turn one of the 2s into a tuner and still get into this card. So hopefully this card's good. This is a level 4 Light Illusion Synchro Tuner. This card itself is a tuner. 700 attack, 2000 defense. Completely generic. So it could even be a Herald of Orange Light target. Or like if you were ever making, or not Orange Light, Herald of, can't remember what the name of that one is called. Whatever, the Synchro 4. You can only use the first and second effects once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can target 2 White Forest monsters in your graveyard. Place them face up in their owner's spell and trap zone as continuous spells. Yo! That's crazy. Now that like Snake Eyes Damn Dragon exists, because you literally just place them and you can immediately send them for the level 8 Snake Eyes Damn Dragon, which puts something else in the spell and trap zone, and then right then and there you already have a level 4 tuner and a level 8 non-tuner to make it 12. Potentially the Snake Eyes Synchro above. Okay. And then during the opponent's main phase, you can activate this effect immediately after this effect resolves. Immediately synchro summon using this card. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's really quite strong. I like that. That's a cool card. Because it's not like it's not like insane advantage just in terms of just, you're getting like straight bodies necessarily, but you do get the material to just plop Snake Eyes Damn Dragon, which still has a lot of value in and of itself. So we'll take that. That's cool. All right, new spell. This is Philias Diabell. Okay, the Diabell spell and traps have not been that good so far. You can only use the first and second effects of this card once per turn. Add 1 level 8 or higher Diabell monster from your deck to your hand, or if only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon it instead. Second, if this card becomes banished, you can make all Diabell monsters you currently control gain 500 attack. Isn't like Diabellstar, the first Diabellstar, the Black Witch, isn't she level 7? so she's not searchable off of this, but like all of the other ones are. Like I think the Snake Eyes one has Diabell in its name, and of course the two up above here have it in its name, and the one who's kind of like a pseudo anti-spell fragrance. Aren't those all? Those are like your search targets because it's 8 or higher. So I think this doesn't search original Diabellstar, unless I'm crazy, unless she is 8 and I'm just nuts. I thought she was 7 this whole time. That's weird. If she's searchable, then that makes this way better, right? Because she gets you the Azamina stuff, she gets you Sinful Spoils stuff. Whereas if it doesn't search her, it does make this, like, your search targets get much less enticing after that. But I don't know, some of these cards above have actually been pretty decent as well. So it's not terrible, but those cards don't really seem like starters, so I don't know if this card's worth it. Then some trap cards to finish out. Curse of Diabell, another Diabell card. Normal trap, you can only use the first and second effect once per turn. If you control 2 or more Diabell monsters, send one monster you control to the graveyard, destroy all face-up cards your opponent controls. Sheesh! That is a board wipe. Okay, you do have to put 2 Diabell monsters on the field, and I'm not sure we really want to, like, leave them on the field. They seem like decent engine cards that you'd want to be like synchroing off, using off, whatever. So, I don't know. And then if this card's in the graveyard or banished, this card is sent to the graveyard or banished from the hand or deck, you can add a Diabell spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Okay, so not a follow-up affecting grave. This only is triggering if it's being banished or sent from hand or deck. Okay, that's fine. I guess it just gets you, like, value if you send it off of, like, White Force cards or something. Or even, like, Diabellstar, stuff like that. Alright, last one here. We have Sinless Sinful Spoils. It's a continuous trap. You can only use the first effect once per turn. Activate one of these effects. So you're only going to get to use this effect once per turn, but you can pick which one you want. Target a Diabell monster in your graveyard or banishment. Discard one card, and if you do, special summon that monster. Second effect says target one face-up monster card in your spell and trap zone, special summon it. Okay. I mean, like, it's a continuous trap, so, like, you gotta like that if you do end up going into a grind game, you're gonna be able to, like, use this every turn. So if your deck is really good at just putting stuff in the spell and trap zone, you're able to pull those out every single turn. And kind of same thing for this first effect is just being able to get a Diabell back, get Diabellstar back from grave every turn, and reset another Sinful Spoils card. Just keep the grind going is pretty decent. I don't know, it might be a little too slow because it's a trap card, but like it's not bad overall for what it is. And I think that's everything. Just taking a look here. Yeah, it looks like that's everything we have here. A lot of interesting stuff. I mean, looks like a really big final push for White Forest, to be honest, if you really want to know my opinion on it. Like, this girl seems like a decent extender for White Forest. This Synchro 4 is really interesting for White Forest. And then the new field spell is really nice for White Forest as well. Like, just straight up Rhoda field spell is really nice. So definitely seems like White Force are the big winners coming down the stretch here. There could be something with these other like Diabell cards, and they're really trying to lean also into the Diabells here. This new fusion is really interesting, being able to like rip your opponent's monsters off the field like pretty freely. This card's not bad as well. We have some other good generic 12s, so I'm curious if this one will actually be worth it if people actually choose to play it generically. And then, these other spell and traps at the end here didn't really wow me. I guess this card's interesting that it's a searcher, but I don't think it searches the best target that it could. So, still iffy. But still pretty strong, honestly. You're telling me this was going to be the last wave of the Sinful Spoils lore? I'd be like, okay, so is it going to be a lot of like lore filler cards that aren't that good? No, they're actually pretty strong. So, that's cool. And lastly here, I just want to go through the rest of the set, because this is a pretty big reveal. Like, new 8-card archetype yesterday, like 8 or 9 new Sinful Spoils lore cards today, when we were already only at like 35 cards left in the set prior. We don't have a ton left, so let's look at what we do have left and just really quick mention it. We do have the number 4 slot open, so some kind of, my guess could be something, an archetype that's already been shown in the past couple months that like could get legacy support here, or even it could just be random legacy support. But it is in front of Evil Heroes. of the second of like the new evil hero card. So I don't know, like something there. Moving down, we filled a lot of these slots in the middle of the archetype monsters. There are still 4 more archetype monsters down here, which is very interesting. That's going to be at least 2, maybe even 3 different archetypes getting like more legacy support here. Curious what that is. This could be a third like Primite wave, something like that. This could be another Metal Foes, not Metal Foes. What is that card called? Metal Morph archetype card there, because last time we saw like the Flame Swordsman version. We could see something there, and then maybe something else. These should be filler, 2 more filler like main deck cards, I would guess. That makes sense to me. Moving into the extra deck stuff, you have something synchro-y down here. Now this is a generic synchro. This is an archetypal synchro, so this could either be a legacy support synchro for an archetype or generic to pair with Jura. Pushing further down, wow, we're literally, that's it. That is it for extra deck monsters. There's 1 synchro we don't know about. Everything else we know about extra deck wise. There's some spell in here. There's going to be legacy support because it's right in the middle of legacy support, so we'll see on that. This one also should be legacy support. This one might pair with one of those missing monster slots legacy wise. And then down here, this is between the spells and traps, so this could either be yeah, because this one's generic, I guess, so these should be filler spells. They shouldn't be linked to an archetype theoretically, so we'll see what those are. Those will probably get revealed at the end, or maybe something else generic. That's pretty good. And then at least 2 more archetypal traps, potentially 1 more last one here, but my guess is like these 2 are filler slots, these 2 are archetypal slots. But really cool. Like, honestly, these reveals have been pretty cool. The new archetype yesterday, Regenesis, made Alliance Insight look a little more interesting, for sure. These new reveals today definitely take White Forest even up an additional notch on what it had been before. And even some other interesting things in there. Just, it's hard to, like, quantify everything all at once and, like, give you a resounding, sweeping you know, review of everything, being like, this is better, this is not, this is awesome. It's kind of hitting a little bit of everything in the Sinful Spoils lore all at once, aside from our poor goblin bikers. But that's cool to see. So let me know your thoughts down below if you're a fan of Snake Eyes, White Forest, you know, the Azamina engine. Let me know your thoughts down below on how much these help any of those individually, because it's kind of hard to decipher everything all at once right now because it's just all over the place. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on that if you're a specialist on any of those things. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on those down below. But thank you so much for watching. As always, guys, subscribe to the channel for more things Yu-Gi-Oh! News going forward. Like I said, not a ton of reveals left for Alliance Insight. It's probably going to be some trickling stuff. But there's going to be some other news, too, coming out. We'll probably get new sets announced, beginnings of the new deck build pack announced pretty soon, all that stuff. So stay tuned for more. See you in the next one, though. Subscribe to the channel for more stuff from me. Peace.